When life comes to an end, what do we really have left? Have you ever found yourself lying awake at night, quietly staring at the ceiling and wondering, what does this life even mean? When we were younger, we used to throw ourselves into the endless race for fame, money, and status. Maybe more than once, we believed that having more and achieving more would make us happier. But in the very last moment, what truly belongs to us? Is it the money we once traded our health for? The big houses we once dreamed of, but now feel empty and cold? The titles and positions we chased after, but now no one even mentions anymore? Or in the end, is it just the memories, the love, and the moments we once lived with all our hearts that truly stay with us? If you have ever asked yourself that question, then today let us find the answer together. And before we begin, go ahead and leave a comment with a positive affirmation like, "I cherish every moment of my life," or anything else you want to put out there. Let this be a reminder to yourself. Live a life with no regrets. And do not forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel so you will not miss out on the next meaningful message. Because life is just too short to waste on meaningless things. Let us listen to the true story of a man named David, someone who once believed that with enough effort he could hold his entire life in the palm of his hand. But then life taught him a lesson that no school ever could have prepared him for. David, 42 years old, a thriving entrepreneur in the tech industry. He had a luxury penthouse in the heart of the city, a high-end SUV, a company with dozens of employees, and a packed schedule from morning until late at night. To his friends, he was the perfect image of modern success. David believed he was on the right path. Every single day felt like a step closer to financial freedom, recognition, and something he had always believed would eventually come: happiness. But life does not give warnings. A dull, persistent pain that lasted for weeks. David thought it was just the price of late nights, business trips, and constant stress. But when the insomnia would not stop, when he could not even finish a proper meal, when his weight dropped rapidly, he finally went in for a checkup, just to be safe. In one short afternoon, he went from planning a business expansion into Asia to becoming a late-stage cancer patient. There was no time to react, no time to prepare. Just one simple sentence from the doctor. "You should start putting your work in order and spend time with your loved ones, because treatment will only give you a little more time." His whole world collapsed. David had never taken the time to actually sit down and have dinner with his parents. He had never once asked his wife if she was truly happy. He had never played with his son for more than 15 minutes without checking his phone. And now, sitting in a hospital chair, face to face with that fragile line between life and death, he could not help but wonder, have I really lived the right way? Not right by society's standards, but right by his own, aligned with his true values, with what makes a person, even without wealth, without fame, feel that life is meaningful. David sat silently in the hospital room. The soft afternoon light shining through the window could no longer ease the quiet pain rising inside him. The news of his illness hit like a knockout blow to a belief he had carried for over 20 years, that with enough effort, he could control everything. But now he knew he could not. Panic crept in. In desperation, his mind began to scan through everything he had, like an instinct to hold on to life. Work. He thought about the company, the contract still unsigned, the unfinished strategies. But then, he suddenly realized, if he stopped today, the company would still run. The employees would still work. the partners would eventually find someone else. Without him, the world would keep turning. Assets. He had a house, a car, investments spread across different ventures, but none of it, none, could he take with him. No one ever does. As he lay there was not a single dollar bill by his side. They stay behind, that is all. Relationships, his wife, his son, his parents, his loved ones. Yes, they might grieve, they might cry, but eventually they would go on living their own lives. They belonged in his heart, but they did not belong to him. He could not take them with him either. David began to sink into a weightless void. All the value that had built his reputation, wealth, status, influence, relationships, slipped through his fingers as easily as water. Memories? The beautiful moments, the awards, the luxury vacations, the sparkle in his son's eyes when Daddy came home. Maybe, just maybe, those were the things he could take with him. But then he realized memories are not really ours either. They are part of time, and time is something he no longer held. Eventually, even memories fade, in other people's minds and in his own over time. Gifts, talent, how could he possibly take something tied to his physical body when that very body was now leaving him day by day? Talent only exists while we are alive. It means nothing when we close our eyes for the final time. What about the soul? He did not know. No one really does. There is only a faint hope that maybe some part of us continues on, but even that he understood. If the soul exists, it does not belong to him. It belongs to the universe. It is not his to keep. And then, in a half-conscious state from the painkillers, he dreamed he was standing in front of a box. On the lid, there were words carved in, "The Box of Life." He opened it slowly, carefully, inside. It was completely empty. No money, no documents, no business cards, no photos, no keepsakes, just a cold, silent void. David stood still. His heart tightened. He understood. His entire life, a journey filled with effort, sacrifice, and calculation to collect things that he could no longer hold on to. Death does not take anything from us, because it does not need to. From the very beginning, nothing was ever truly ours. And in that moment, for the very first time, David became truly awake. No more anger, no more fear, only acceptance, and a quiet question that echoed in his mind. If I cannot take anything with me, then how should I live? And what really matters when we are old? When the glow of fame has faded, when the numbers in your bank account no longer excite you, when you are no longer racing anyone, what do you have left? Maybe, just maybe, you will realize that there are things far more precious than money, things that, if you do not start cherishing right now, you may never have the chance to hold again. Let us take a moment to look back and ask ourselves, what is truly worth holding on to when old age comes? 4. Live for yourself, because happiness does not need permission. When we are young, we live for so many things. We throw ourselves into work to build a career. We work hard to earn money so we can provide for our families. We devote all our time to taking care of our children and building a happy home. Sometimes we set aside our dreams and give up our personal interests just to make sure the people we love have a better life. But then one day, when old age arrives, when our children have grown up and started their own lives, when work is no longer a concern, when responsibilities slowly drift away, we suddenly realize that we have never truly lived for ourselves. Many older people fall into a state of emptiness and loneliness. not because they have no one by their side, but because they have never learned how to live for themselves. They have spent a lifetime sacrificing, taking care of others, and somewhere along the way, they forgot that they too deserve happiness. And when no one needs them anymore, they find themselves lost, unsure of what to do with the time they have left. The truth is, happiness is not something that has to be granted or validated by someone else. It is something we must create for ourselves. Learning to live for yourself does not mean being selfish or irresponsible. It means knowing how to find balance, how to value yourself, and how to enjoy the things that truly matter. If you have never had the chance to do what you love, then now is the perfect time to start. Travel, read books, play sports, join community activities, or simply spend time doing the things that bring you joy. Life is short, and nothing is more heartbreaking than wasting your final years just looking back and regretting everything you missed. One of the biggest barriers that keeps people from living the life they want is the fear of what others will think. When we are young, we are afraid of being judged, afraid of standing out from the crowd. But after we have walked through most of life's journey, do those opinions really matter anymore? You can never please everyone, but you absolutely can live in a way that brings you peace and happiness. People will always have their opinions, but you are the only one who truly lives your life. When we grow old, happiness is not about how much money is in your bank account, and it is not about how many people you manage to please. It is about spending your remaining days with meaning and without regret. If you do not start living for yourself now, then when will you ever get the chance? 3. Appreciate the present moment. Many people spend their whole lives regretting the past or worrying about the future. They live in old memories, constantly haunted by past mistakes and missed opportunities. Or they live in fear and anxiety, always thinking about what might happen tomorrow. In doing so, they forget that happiness does not exist in the past or the future. It lives right here, in the present moment, the only place where we can truly feel and experience life. It is only when old age arrives that many people realize the most beautiful days were not the ones when they made the most money, nor the moments when they achieved great success or recognition, but the simple ones they once took for granted. A peaceful morning with a cup of hot tea, the joyful laughter of children and grandchildren at the dinner table, the calm feeling of watching the sunset after a long day. Those small, ordinary moments are what make life feel truly whole. If today were your last day, would you still care about the things that worried you yesterday? If you had only 1 week left to live, would you slow down and fully savor every moment? Do not wait until time is running out to learn how to value it. Spend time with the people you love. Do the things that bring you happiness and live each day to the fullest. Because no matter how much you worry or regret, the only thing you truly have in your hands is the present moment. 2. Keep your soul at peace. Looking back at life, how many things once caused us stress, sadness, or anger, only for us to realize years later that they no longer matter at all? The sleepless nights filled with worries, the pain from someone's harsh words or actions, the regrets over past decisions, all of these are just passing clouds in the sky of our lives. Holding on to them only weighs us down when we always have the choice to let go and live more peacefully. True happiness does not come from external things, it comes from our mindset. If we constantly hold on to guilt, resentment, or regret, we are only hurting ourselves. But if we learn to accept, to forgive, and to see things with more lightness, life naturally becomes easier to bear. Life will never be perfect. There will always be things we cannot control. unfairness, disappointments, and people who hurt us. But we have the power to choose how we respond. We can let those things affect us deeply, or we can learn to let them pass and keep moving forward. Do not let small things steal your peace. Do not let negative emotions run your life. Smile more, live more gently. That is the key to living longer, healthier, and happier. Each smile not only lifts your mood, but also acts like medicine, easing stress, boosting your health, and spreading positive energy to both yourself and the people around you. Take a moment to reflect. The things you worried about 10 years ago, do they still matter now? The people who once hurt you, do they still hold power over your life? If not, then why keep carrying that burden? Let go of what is not worth keeping and give your soul the freedom to breathe. Finally, health is the greatest asset we will ever have. Among all the things people chase in life, money, fame, power, status, there is one thing that quietly stays in the background, yet is the most valuable of all: health. There is a simple saying that holds so much truth. When you have your health, you have everything. Without it, nothing else matters. Health is the number one. Money, fame, status, they are all just zeros. And if you do not have that number one in front, then no matter how many zeros you add, the total will still be zero. Think about it. Even if you have all the money in the world, what does it mean if your body is too weak to stand, to walk, to enjoy it? Imagine owning a beautiful mansion, but being bedridden every single day. You cannot step out to the balcony to watch the sunrise. You cannot walk in the park with your friends. At that point, that luxurious house becomes nothing more than a golden cage, trapping you between four walls. There was once a wealthy man whose story became a painful lesson for many. He was a successful businessman who dedicated his entire life to work, sacrificing both his health and time with his family in the name of success. And yes, he achieved what so many dream of, a fortune worth nearly $20 billion. But he passed away far too young before he ever had a chance to enjoy what he had worked for. That nearly $20 billion was inherited by his wife, who later married his personal driver, the man who once worked for him. That ending was not only bitter, but painfully ironic, a cruel reminder of one hard truth. In the end, the one who lives longer is the one who gets to enjoy life. That is why health is not something that is nice to have if we can get it. It is the foundation, the one essential condition for everything else to happen. Without health, money is just numbers, a house is just decoration, and the future is just a vague idea. We have to understand that taking care of our health is not a luxury. It is a responsibility, both to ourselves and to those who love us. Eat well, move your body regularly, get regular checkups, keep your mind optimistic. Let go of unnecessary worries, because your mental state is just as important as your physical one. Out of all the things you can invest in, your health is the smartest and most worthwhile investment of all. So start today. Taking care of your body is not selfish. It is the clearest sign that you truly love yourself. And there is no love more important than the love you have for your own life. Life is a journey, and when we reach the end of the road, what truly matters is not how much money we had or how much fame we earned, but how we actually lived. Did you love with all your heart? Did you savor every moment? Did you take care of yourself in a way that allowed you to live a long, healthy, and peaceful life? Growing old is not the end. It is a new chapter, a time when you can slow down and enjoy what truly matters. Remember, money will eventually lose its value, fame will fade away, but health peace and happiness will stay with you if you learn to cherish them starting today. So do not spend your whole life chasing things on the outside while forgetting the true value of life. Care for your health as if it is your greatest treasure. Keep your soul light and peaceful. Appreciate every present moment and live for yourself, because we only get one life, and the last years should never be filled with regret. If you believe that life is meant to be enjoyed, not regretted, leave a comment below. I choose to live happily. And do not forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel so you can keep receiving even more meaningful life lessons ahead.